Good evening, coaches. It is April 3rd, Monday, April 3rd. We're super duper excited for tonight's call. We have Elizabeth Laguna-Rocha. Is that how you say Rocha? Rocha. With us today. She is going to be kicking off our, this is the first time I do this, by the way. I've never done a instead of, you know how at churches they do sermon series, I decided to do team call series. So we're gonna have 4 weeks, 4 weeks of speakers just pouring into us about their journey and how they've run their businesses in different perspectives. And we have Elizabeth kicking off today. Our sermon, see, look at me. Our team call series called Family Matters, because at the end of the day, we do this for our families, but sometimes, and I am guilty of that, I can get so caught up in my schedule that I feel like what becomes a priority? Family, the business that's providing for the family. Like, how do we do this? And I, after having so many conversations with Elizabeth, and as she inspires me with the Miracle Morning, and she'll talk more about her story, but I've just been inspired by her since we met. Before I turn it over to her, I do want to remind you of a couple of things. Number one, we are currently in our blitz for Spring into Action. Make sure that you watch the video I recorded yesterday. There's an entire blueprint on how we can leverage what Carl Deichler did for us in getting the challenge pack, the all annual access challenge pack from $199 down to $160. So super important that you watch that video. It has the entire blueprint. Number two, I hope you are already inviting to your challenge group. And then, of course, thanks to Elizabeth, by the way, who was the one that provided me the script for the 7-day sampler challenge. I actually got it from her. So we're super excited that we're going to be corporately doing this as a team. So make sure that you're inviting to both. We can definitely rock this month as long as we are taking advantage of the tools that are being provided for all of us. So super excited for that. So before I turn it over to Elizabeth, I just want to tell you that a little bit of how I met her. We met exactly 6 weeks ago or 5 weeks ago at NLC, and I feel like she's my long lost sister, like gone somewhere. Literally, we've connected immediately. There's 6 of us that all of a sudden it's like, hi, like we hadn't never met. We hadn't even spoken on social media, but the moment Carlos connected these 6 women, we like become sisters. It's been amazing. So I decided, you know what? She has inspired me when it comes to handling her family, time management. And here's another one of our sisters, Catalina's here with us. How exciting. I invited these 6 sisters, by the way. We all Christian. And she's with us also. Hi, Cata. And we just been connecting, helping each other. Every resource we get, we're like sharing it with each other. We actually created a Google Drive just for us. That is how much value we're adding to each other. And we're from completely different teams, which is the beautiful part of it. We're not sitting here holding information or anything like that. We're just adding value. It doesn't matter what it is. And I feel like that's how you grow. When you honor other people and when you bless other people with your gifts and talents and our weaknesses, my weaknesses is their strength and vice versa. Like, God continues to bless you, move you forward for that reason. So I'm loving what's happening between us, and I'm hoping that you guys, when you go to NLC next year, that you get to find that tribe as well. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful to see 6 different teams. So a little bit about Elizabeth. Elizabeth is I'm going to let her share her story and a lot of her accolades, but I am going to tell you she's a 2-star diamond. She is a mom, a wife. She has been in the business for about 3 years, if I'm not mistaken, Elizabeth. About 3 years. 2 years she was working part-time, and she's now full-time at home, and she'll share more about her story. But I'm just excited to have her. And she was also in the Core de Force test group, and she's a Success Club 10 All-Star and Legend, correct? And so with
All-Star Legend.
Yep. So, oh my gosh, she's in the Market Council. I mean, this woman, like, a bunch of things. She's just amazing, but it's because of consistency and hard work. And without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to her, and she's going to talk to us today, kicking off family matters. So take it over.
Yay. Well, good. Buenas noches. Good evening. I know it's super late where you guys are at. Thank you so much, first of all, Melanie. Like she said, we're like long lost sisters from, from many, many years ago. So when we saw each other, we were just like hugging and laughing and eating. We did not start. We were not shy. It was a great bonding experience, great experience overall. So I truly, truly do feel blessed, like that because of this opportunity, because of this business, because of what Carl does for us, we're able to fly in from all over parts of the world and meet amazing women. And now I get to, meet all of you, and hopefully you guys have some questions at the end and I can answer those for you. But again, Melanie, thank you so much for having me. And I'm going to be very honest with you. When Melanie said, hey, would you like to be on this call? I was like, it's always like, and this is why, because it's you prioritize your life, right? You got to prioritize, make priorities. And it's exactly, I didn't hesitate to do it because I didn't want to, but because I had to really think, what's going on a Monday at 6:30, and it's dinner time. Dinner time for us is always at 6 o'clock. It's from 6 to about 6:30, 7. And yesterday I made a bunch of food so that today it could just all be warmed up. It's pasta with ground turkey and some salad. So it's all ready to go. The husband just warmed it up and everyone's eating. So it's pretty crazy and loud out here. But Melanie, again, thank you so much for allowing me to speak on this topic that I am very, very passionate about. Time management, organization, all of that is something that, like I said, I'm passionate about because it has allowed me to go from working full-time in education for 16 years. I worked as a counselor, a mentor, after-school program coordinator, always kind of in a leadership role, but it was more management and not leading, getting out there and doing what we love here. And so I took a lot of what I learned in that role and applied it to this part here, where I think in this business, you really, really have to learn how to prioritize, or the coaching business just takes over. And I'm going to say I'm guilty of that. I'm still guilty of that. So it's something that I have to constantly, work on, because it's like seasons of life right now. Our kids are young. When I first started, they were babies. It's been 4 years. So, they're all in school. So I have to make sure that I'm constantly, prioritizing my family and managing my work so that I can have that freedom to be with the family. So I do have, thank you, Melanie. I do have a slideshow presentation. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that you guys can see that. And first and foremost, can you guys see that okay? Yes, okay. Okay, so again, manage your work and prioritize your family. And I can go on and on and on and on about this topic. So I'm glad that Melanie said, hey, what do you prefer? Visuals? Okay, let's go for it, because then I can stick to a time frame and make sure that I don't overdo this. So first of all, manage your work, prioritize your family. Okay, so balance. And I didn't add the animations and all of that, but when you hear, find a way to balance your faith, family, and work, what image comes to mind? Okay. And for me, I used to use the word a lot, balance. I got to balance work. I got to balance, school. Because when I first started coaching, I was going to school full time too. You got to balance, your time with your husband, balance this, balance everything. And I literally felt like that elephant on that ball. I could never find my balance. And it was crazy. I was trying to balance everything at once, even like that guy on that rope right there, right? So I don't know, maybe think of an image. What image? I don't know if it was this, but when people tell you to, you got to find a balance. I used to tell my challengers that too. Well, figure out how to balance your workouts with this. And I thought, man, it's not about balance. It really isn't. So then this is why I feel that it's, instead of using balance, for us, words are powerful, right? Words are powerful. And so for me, prioritize. When you hear find a way to prioritize versus balance, you know, your faith, family, and work, what image comes to mind? And for me, it's this here. And this is like a set of stones, and in every set, there's a foundation. You have your business, and in your business, there's different elements that you have to prioritize. There's your family, and in your family, in your household, there's a lot of elements you have to prioritize. Your marriage, your kids, you know, your home. And so every single rock here represents a different level of what you're prioritizing. You're really not trying to balance one or the other. You're just making priorities and what's most important in your life. Okay, so again, that is how I viewed now this, you know, managing my work and prioritizing my life. I don't like to use the word balance anymore. That's my take. Because for me, I feel like I'm this elephant on that ball, and I'm going to tip at any moment, and I don't want that, because when you tip, you lose it. You lose momentum. You lose faith. You lose your purpose. You know, you just lose yourself sometimes, your sanity. So again, that's what I like to approach this situation. Prioritizing versus trying to balance everything. So my approach to this, to organization, to time management, to prioritizing my life around and then managing my work. I make sure that I'm flexible. Yes, I have a calendar. I have a Google Calendar. I have alarms on my phone to remind me when to eat, so that I don't work through my lunch or my snacks, my Greek yogurt with granola and apples. I gotta have those. I gotta have those. So you have to be my approach is be flexible. Yes, work hard, but hold it loosely. Like, you know, like if something else is a priority, be flexible and allow that to come in. Maybe that thing that you do is going to move your business forward or move your family forward. Humility. I mean, women of faith, we have to be humble. We're you know, right? We're humble. We got to let our pride and ego aside. And I wrote some notes on that. And I say that because, let's see here. Don't seek the approval of others or cling to a certain rank. And that to me is how I apply that to this business. When I remember I was losing sight of my purpose and my why, because I was always chasing that rank or chasing that next success club or chasing, you know, that trip and chasing all of the, you know, glorification, instead of, you know what, I got to let go of that and just focus and be humble and work and help people. Okay, put aside and stay true to your purpose regardless of recognition or rank or pay. So that's my approach to managing my business and prioritizing my family. Because when you're focused on your work and on that rank, your family no longer becomes your priority. Because in order to reach that, sometimes you're working endlessly, and that's where we lose, you know, sight of our purpose. And then last, courage, freedom. Know that you are. Let's see here. I have this here because, like I said, I can go on and on about this. So freedom to carry out your purpose, right? Where God wants to take you. You got to allow yourself to go down that path and to create that freedom for you. Again, for me, after working in education for 16 years, okay, I made the decision, you know, that this here was for me. It wasn't something that I planned. Like, I love working in education. I love teaching. I love counseling students, at-risk students at that, where they're struggling, you know, in school and drugs and probation. But for me, like, it didn't allow me the freedom to carry out my purpose. Like, I wanted to change the world. I was confined to a small space. So you have to have the courage. You have to let your faith guide you into, you know, leading you into this path. And so, again, providing me the freedom and courage to be home where God wanted me to be. This is where I feel so much freedom. This is where I have felt more, you know, connected spiritually, and just feel like I'm sharing what I'm supposed to be sharing. I'm doing, this is my purpose. And so again, this is my approach to this work and to prioritizing my family. And if I don't approach it like this, then I allow my work to manage me. Okay, so again, who am I? I'm a mom and a wife first. Okay, there's my husband. That is the cruise 2 years ago with Beachbody, amazing cruise. I'm also a homemaker. These are my babies here, my 4 little ones. I'm a homemaker, right? That's a priority too, because I believe in, keeping the home nice and cleaning it up and having things in order, because this is where I work. So I have to also be a homemaker for me to make all of this function well for me. And third, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a home business owner. That's last because, again, it's all about, I'm a mom and I'm a wife first. To me, that is why I'm here. This is why I'm able to carry out my purpose, and I've always wanted to be home and have the freedom to be with my kids. And so if I always have that why in the forefront, then I'm able to carry out what I'm supposed to be doing. Okay, so by prioritizing these roles, I can then prioritize my life and manage my work to succeed without feeling overwhelmed or compromised. I know how that feels. Again, I'm guilty of it, that I just want to help all these people and work. But again, that doesn't do us any good. That does not do us any good. So now 3 words, let's see if I can't, 3 words that I go by here. So priorities, balance, and no. This is something that constantly runs through my head all the time to manage my time. You balance your work around your priorities and say no to anything that does not align with your purpose. Okay, so think of your purpose. If you're doing anything now that is not aligning with your purpose, what you're here to serve, then remove it. Remove it from that priority. It's not serving you. It's not serving your purpose. It's not serving God. It's not meant for you. Okay, and as much as it hurts to say no or let go, right now in this season of your life, like in my season of my life, it has freed up my time. It's given me sanity, and it allows me to focus on what's truly important in my life. Okay, again, if I'm feeling overwhelmed or worn out or stuff like that, that's a red flag that I'm doing what I'm not supposed to be doing, that I'm not focusing on my priorities. That work is managing my life. Okay, so manage your work and prioritize your life. It's so important to align everything that you're doing with your life, right? With what's important right now during this season. In 10 years, my kids are gonna grow up. That's gonna be a different season of our life. I'm gonna serve a different purpose at that time. But for now, this is how I'm able to obviously make sure that I prioritize my family, my home, and then my work. Okay, so how I manage my work and prioritize my life. This is a breakdown, of what I do. Early mornings, prayer, workout, breakfast, shower, and then I do the rest. My kids, I drop them off at school. My husband and I rotate, and so there's dropping off kids in there too. Since we switch off, it's not something I do every day, but early mornings, this is how I do it. And it's something that I've have to do if I want to have the freedom for my priorities, which is my family, my home, and then my work. My morning, work on my business, my emails, my groups, my coach calls, my team calls, meetings with my Latina ladies. Again, this is I break down my day in these 4 segments because I'm a mom of 4. So once the kids go, I go at it. When I was working full time, and some of you are working full time, I was up even earlier, 30 minutes of training, because at that time I didn't have a team. I wasn't working this business full time. So I still broke down my day by early morning, afternoons, and evenings. In the afternoons during this time, because I didn't have my kids with me, I was driving home from work, I was on a call with a coach or a challenger, or I was checking into my groups if I could. I was making a video, with the phone on the radio or something. So the activities change throughout these 4 times of the days, but this is how I break down my day to prioritize my life, or else we're all over the place. Melanie, am I doing okay? Okay, so the strategies I use to manage my work. Okay, so these are some of the strategies I use And then I'll show you guys some visuals. You definitely don't want to do this alone. As women of faith, maybe you have, a Bible study group, you're part of a support group, or you have a success partner or a group to talk to that you can just talk about anything, no agenda about the business, none of that. So that way you can talk about it, pray about it, and have fun at the same time and get back to your work. You want to work hard and leave on time. Okay, work hard and leave on time. This is where you schedule your business hours. Google Calendar. You want to use the business activity tracker and set timers. For me, the BAT, I still use it. 4 years in, I love that they have the updated one, because that one is just check, power of 3, or whichever method you guys use. For me, using the BAT helps me stick to that time where I need to work really hard and set my time and go at it. That way, if I manage my work using the BAT, this is an awesome strategy that I cannot stress enough. People, when you start feeling overwhelmed and you're doing too much, I always say go back to the business activity tracker. And if you're doing more than what's on that, then you're probably doing too much. And then create a monthly calendar. I know for my team, I create a monthly calendar and also a personal calendar. That way I stick to it. Not only am I working on my business, but also helping my team on their goals, right? And then I'll show an example of that as well. And then, like I said, this is another strategy that it seems kind of simple. What's easy to do is sometimes we don't do it. Say no. No is like, you gotta say no. Say no to the lunch dates or to the parties on the weekends or to, the stuff that's not aligned with your purpose or with your goals in this business. It does take sacrifice to get to where you wanna be in this business. So you gotta say no to the lunch dates. For me, it's been very hard to say no to volunteering at the Boys and Girls Club at church. I want to be at church all the time. I was teaching a catechism class on Wednesday nights, and I did it for 2 years because my daughters were there at the time. So then I can spend the time with them. And I wanted to continue volunteering and teaching catechism, because that's all volunteer basis. But my daughters were no longer there. So what I told the lady in charge, I told her, you know what? I'm going to come back when my boys come back again, when my boys are back in the class. That way I give myself a break. And it was really hard to say no. I felt so bad because I had a friend who was still doing it, and she would, tell me how much fun they're having and how I'm missing out, and that, that I was kind of like a bad person for saying no to not teaching the class when I really, really wanted to. And I cried about it, and I said, I really want to be there, but my girls are doing other stuff. I want to be with them doing other things. So I had to say no to volunteering to that temporarily, because it's not a part of my season right now. Like I said, as much as I wanted to, and it's still, I hear about it and I'm like, I can't wait to go. So next year, I'll be volunteering for 2 years, every Wednesday for the entire school year. So that's where my time will be, in the evenings. And that's freed up time for me to be with my family, so because my kids aren't at catechism, and when my girls were there, I was there with them. It was such a blessing. I loved it. And again, don't do long-term commitments in the community short-term, right? Reserve the weekends for family. It's okay to say no to events if it's not aligned with your goals or your purpose. Something's not meant for everyone. I know we want to sign up for all these trainings, all these things, and is it aligned with your goals and your purpose? If it's not aligning with your priorities, then don't add it to your list. Grow your faith first, and the rest will grow. Wake up early for prayer. Work on you first, all the time. Like, I know Melanie stresses this a lot. So work on you first. Like I get the shivers or chills when I think of that. But that, to me, I've grown tremendously on my spiritual journey when I started doing that first. You grow in your faith. And I never saw myself teaching a catechism class. And when I was in the classroom, I had never done it, and it just came naturally. It was the best thing ever. So again, Grow your faith first and the rest will grow. Okay, and so now with the part when I was mentioning to you guys about, work hard, leave on time, using the strategies, this is a marketing calendar, and I use PicMonkey to create these calendars, and this is the April calendar that I shared with my team, and this is my personal calendar. And so I include everything. I learned a bunch of tips on how to make it better after this new leader conference, and so I applied that to this calendar. And this year, the reason I do this is because I'm able to see what do I have to do and what do I have to plan so that it doesn't get in the way of my priorities. Okay, if it's not on my calendar and I took the time to create this, remember, we got to be flexible. But if you're doing something that's not here, then it's probably not aligning with your goals. And so this here truly, truly does help me stay consistent with building a business and not just like a hobby, something I'm doing for fun. This here shows you that you're serious about building a business. And every month I do this. I've been doing this for 4 years, and it's just the consistency is what has helped me build a successful business. And people know, hey, Elizabeth, what free group are you hosting next week? They already know. They know because it's something that I've done over time, and it feels so good for people that are following you to reach out to you. Of course, we still have to do the invitations, but it's a blessing when people come to you and say, hey, are you running a free group? Because you're not having to go out there and make those cold invites. I don't know about you guys, but those are kind of scary to me. And so the next one is a team calendar. I love to create a team calendar. Maybe right now you're a new coach. If you're a new coach, don't worry about this now. Okay, don't even 100% of your time to work on you, work on your priorities, and work on your BAT, and work on working with your coach, right, with your leader. The next one, use the BAT. This helps with consistency and building a successful business every day. Like I said, I've used the old version. I use this new version. I created my own version. And I love this one here. This new business activity tracker is amazing. And so this will help you build consistency. If you're not checking off, building yourself or building your business or, building your future, then it's not going to help you create the consistency you want in your business. And that truly there is what helps you duplicate a system that works. You don't have to figure out all these crazy methods. You do what works for you, and you just repeat it over and over again. You get the compound effect, right? Darren Hardy, he's the best. And then my Google Calendar. All the purple you see here, that's all family time. That's all family time. And then there's a bunch of white space there. So there's going to be some times where I have to be flexible. And I do have, because I work with a lot of moms who work full time, and so I have to be flexible with their schedule. So I leave that time open just in case something needs to be moved around. Okay, so be flexible, be humble, and have courage to step outside your comfort zone, and really, really think about why you're on this journey. And let's see here. Again, what results will you achieve if you manage your work and prioritize your life? Like I said, consistency. If you do this, if you prioritize what's important in your life, your family, your home, God, right? God, your faith, your family, your home, your marriage, and then your work, you will build a successful business, because that prioritizing your family will allow you that freedom. Again, you build a successful business, you find what works for you, and you continue to grow from it. You gain momentum. I mean, one thing that I've learned from being consistent is that your momentum, that big mode, just goes and it goes. Are you going to have slow months? Absolutely. Hard months? Yes. Hard days? Yes. But you're going to feel like, okay, I just need to go back to what I know, and that's the 4 vital behaviors, the VAT. I need to go back to my calendar, go back to my priorities, and take away anything that's not aligning with my purpose. And again, this is just going to give you more freedom to do more of the things you love, to be blessed, and just to provide and to serve others. And again, that's all I have here. And this is my familia. And again, just a quick little thing down there. No one can serve two masters. So you have to remember what's important in your life. That's it. That's all I got, Melanie.
Amen.
Questions.
Amen. Thank you so much. This was amazing. I know I needed this reminder, especially in this season of my life where there's just so much that we're juggling right now. Does anybody want to unmute, say anything, have any questions, comments? Hold on. How do we do this? Oh, we have another amiguita from the group. I'll introduce her in a minute. Let's see if anybody, are we sharing? How am I doing? Oh, it's because I have this. There you go. Okay, let me put it in gallery view. Awesome. We have a question. They're asking me privately. What books do you recommend for time management? I know your answer to that.
What books? Shoot. I just blanked. Compound Effect. No. I just blanked, sister.
Miracle Morning.
I'm all sweating. I'm still nervous from that. Run the call. Miracle Morning. Miracle Morning, guys.
What is it? I always get confused. But honestly, like, you inspired me with that one. Monica, go ahead. You can unmute yourself. She always mentions the Miracle Morning. I'm like, okay. And then we say, oh, we want to wake up earlier and blah, blah, blah. And here we are. And then she's like, guys, you guys got to do the Miracle Morning. The morning. I said, yeah, it is the Miracle Morning. So go ahead, Monica.
First, thank you for being here. What you're sharing is very, very useful. I know for all of us, both, those that are moms and non-moms, full-time employees and not full-time employees, because at the end of the day, we all have to balance. My question to you is, going back to the part where you say that you don't work like on the weekends and that you have to, pick and choose what you're going to say yes to and what you should stay away from. How do you determine what to, like, my struggle is that everything that comes up is always an opportunity. So how do you determine that you should be skipping that opportunity that's just not right for you?
I go back to my goal, like to my why, to my goals. And so let's see. Super Saturday, obviously that's, I already worked around there. That's in my calendar. That's something that's going to help me, network with other coaches and also connect with my team since we're online most of the time. So any of my coaches there. So I know that's a priority. And that's a priority because it's going to help me connect with those coaches, and building a team will also bless me with more time here, right? You just grow. So, when I say don't work on the weekends, like during the week, I think we're more focused on inviting, sharing. On the weekends, you may, if you're not where you want to be at that point, then you cut back. For me, then I'll do maybe 1 or 2 posts less, meaning I'm spending less time on Facebook. I might also don't respond to messages during the day. I may log in for 30 minutes at night to check into my group, but I definitely will be in my group first thing in the morning because I do wake up first thing in the morning. So that I do. When I say events, I have a lot of coaches who sometimes will want to go to every single workout that's live, which is fine because maybe you're gaining experience. You want to get out there. It's helping you step out of your comfort zone. Maybe you want to be a master trainer, but is it aligning with your goals? Like, do you have it down in your goals that you want to be a master trainer and that's why you're attending that event every time it comes up in your area? If it's just for fun, I'm not saying not have fun, but if it's taken away from building your business and helping you, on your purpose, then don't do it. Let me see what else. I don't know if I answered your question, but when I was working full time, I did work from 5 to 8 in the morning on the weekends. And I still do, but now it's more by choice because now I work from home, but it's by choice, so that during the week I can have a little bit more extra time to pick up the kids, to volunteer in the classroom that one day out of the week. Since I'm there in the classroom, then I say, okay, well, on Saturday I'll wake up early and fit in that time. So I don't necessarily cut back on my work hours for the business. I'm more flexible with my hours. Let's see. Did I answer your question, Monica? If not,
Yeah,
please
you did.
clarify. Please tell me.
No, you did. I think the answer is going to be different for everybody anyways, because everybody's different with their own schedules and stuff. But I just wanted to see how you would determine that you come from both being a full-time employee and now you're working at home. So like, how do you see it as, So thank you.
Can I tell you too, when I was working full-time, I left my home at 6:30 in the morning, and I got home about 6 or 7. And so it was crazy. It was crazy. My work schedule was always crazy. And so I was willing to put in the time that I needed to create this freedom that I have now, and flexibility. I still do the work, but now it's really on my terms. I still wake up because I know those activities, that consistency is what got me to where I'm at. And I still have big goals, bigger goals too, that I want to crush. But again, I have to be flexible, and I have to prioritize, of course, what's important. So like you said, it's going to be different for everyone. And so you just move around your time. Now I free up my time other places, right? Because now I'm not where I want to be, but we're growing. So.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
The way you put that into perspective, and again, I'm such a visual person, and a lot of our coaches are as well. When you gave that example of, for example, the whole master trainer thing, like, should you be at every workout? Well, it depends. What's the point of that? Like you said, is it for fun? Is it because you just because, or is it because you have that master trainer goal or something? Like that example, it just blew my mind.
Melanie, I have a coach who wants to be a master trainer, and she does all of that. And then I have some who don't want to do that, and they want to go away and do that. But I know that a master trainer, how successful are coaches who are master trainers? And that's where she sees herself. So that's her training. That's where she needs to be. That's where she's going to thrive. Go to it, because that's what's going to create the freedom that she wants in her life. She sees herself doing that, and that's where her purpose is. So and as much as she's like cannot be around people, but she does these things because that's where she thrives as a that's what she wants to do. So
yeah, that's awesome. Love that. All right, ladies, any other questions?
Got that?
Got that. Aw. And we have Mari too.
And Vicky.
Vicky. Her name is Maria. That's what matters.
Yes.
Please.
Vicky.
That is a secret.
You guys are fun.
Oh,
Yes. And someone asked if we can have access to the slideshow. Yes, I'll send that over to you, Jessica.
Go, Jessica.
I just wanted to first say thank you for hopping on, and I actually got a lot out of this because I always have such the busiest day. So I absolutely love the very first quote when you did the whole manage your work and prioritize your life, your family. I love that. And I thought it was funny with your whole alarms, you set your alarms for your snacks. I think that is great, because I'm always feel like I'm always fighting for time. And my biggest problem, I would say, is probably saying no to a lot of stuff.
These are all my alarms, and they've been even my gratitude moment is in there. I stop every day, and my kids, what I love is that when this goes off, my kids will look at the time and they're like, Mom, if it's on the weekend, gratitude moment, Mom, water. They know that I've had this for 4 years, and they know, and it's changed a little bit. Dinner time goes off, they're looking at the clock is it ready? So it's a routine, and again, when they're at school, they'll look at the time and they're like, it's almost mama's snack time, like, or her second meal. Like my daughters do that. So Jessica, my challengers laugh too. Well, they think it's awesome, but they're like, man, even all your meals, everything, I have it all in here, even to get up. And it just, and I set my phone, like kind of ways away, because then if I don't turn it off, then I hear, get up. You're waking me up. I got to go to work. I got to get up in 45 minutes, get up. And, so that makes what I do to some, yeah.
That's awesome.
No, I love that. I love those alarms, and I think that that's awesome.
Thank you. Set them. See how they work for you.
Oh, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, any other questions or comments? Let's see. No, Kata, I know you unmuted. I wasn't sure if you wanted to say something.
Hey guys.
Hi.
Elizabeth, how do you when a new coach starts, what is your best tip to get them started on Facebook or to get them started as a coach?
Share your story, and I provide them a weekly posting plan.
Tell me about that.
Just so that if they're pressed for time,
we gotta get it. I'll give you mine too. I have one too. I'll give it to you.
And if you're pressed for time, one, you don't have time to think about what to post because you're thinking about what to cook for dinner or what to wear the next, I don't know, as a busy working mom, right? So the posting plan for me, I have it saved in my favorites. So when I'm stuck or I'm just kind of like my mind is fried, I'll go to my favorites in my albums and I'll look at that and it'll say, share a tip about a nutrition tip, share something you like, and so I can share that with Melanie and, or I'll share it in the Latina group and then you guys can disperse it if you like. So I provide them a weekly posting plan, Monday through Friday, and they can switch it up on the weekends. Usually on the weekends, they have a lot to say. It's the weekday when you're like crazy busy and you have no time. So during lunchtime, really quick, take a picture. And I also tell them to take a bunch of pictures and save it in the album in their phone so that when they do have time to post, they have a picture.
Amazing.
Time. Ooh.
Got it. Okay, so she is going to give us access to the slideshow. She will.
Yes.
Awesome. All right, ladies. Well, if there's no other questions, I want to take a picture. Let me take a picture real quick. Everybody smile.
My hair got all big.
Smile.
Everyone sits up. You guys are too cute.
3, 2, 1. There you go. Got it. Thank you. All right. Well, thank you so much, Elizabeth.
Melanie, thank you so much for having me.
No, thank you so much for adding value into our lives. I know that we all struggle with time management. They say likes tracks alike, and I think all of my coaches are like, oh my God, I'm on survival mode. And so this was needed. This is the reason why we decided to do this series. So I appreciate your time. Get back to your family. Thank you so much for putting us on your priority list this time around. I know this doesn't happen often, so we are honored to have you with us. So thank you so much, you guys. Have a blessed night. Bye.